All right, Dr. Marvin. We have a GoPro. Looks like it's all systems go. I'm going to put it facing backwards. So, I'm going to bring this back. It's red. I'm going to bring plastic. I'm going to wear this white shirt for this for bugs. Now I'm wondering where I put my rain jackets. When I found them, I thought that I brought them up. Oh, you do? I felt like I packed those. Don't get now. I'm just saying, you get out there and you get another band and it starts dumping. And I want to make sure that I've got my kits for collection. So I'm trying to see where I put them in this pack here. What's in this? Hand cannon? Oh, I found my hoodie that I didn't know what it was. That's good. And my hat. Looking for my tweezers, my kit. My evidence collecting kit that I put together. I swear I put it in that back in my daytime. But apparently I didn't because I'm not finding it. When I was packing things, let me check this. Here's my snacks. That's an empty box. There's something. Oh. Everything organized. This is where I know I'm telling my dad. I can't remember where anything is, but I know I put it all together. Where did I put it? God only knows. So I'm left with find something, but hoping that we don't, and I'll be set to have to. It's not. I think so. It's going out the back. Did you check the bathroom?
They talked about feral hogs on one of the signs on the other side.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Notice it says photos. No.
Well, yeah. I don't intend on taking anything or leaving anything other than footprints.
Feet.
Yeah,
that's true.
oh, yeah. Describe the ball. You good? You are here. You take a picture of that. No, I got pictures of everything. checking the phone stuff just to see how that's working. Calibrating that.
Strap.
All right, now see again, we're in a park. It's burnt wood. Anybody could take a picture of it. It is a wood structure, but it is one that I believe is entirely man-made. The good thing about the GoPro is it's good to, I think, 50 meters underwater. Because I use it for scuba. This was my scuba. That's in the fire. Solid. Solid wood.
You see the picture.
Wow. There's your banana board. That one's definitely banana. You can see the yellow female and male right behind her again at about 11 o'clock. It's interesting that they were at 11 and 1 on the other day. can you see the little male one right above it? It's so cool. It's like he's on his own web, just opposite the web. A little higher than her and a little bit away from her. He's so small, she must have to feed him. The little ones? Yeah, but she catches the big stuff. I think he's just there for DNA. Oh, yeah, there it is. And so those are hundreds. There's some hundreds. Alright, here we are. A little bit of a raised platform. Checking out the pitcher plants. Some other carnivorous species of plants. The pitcher plants are one that I've used in videos for my biology students, teaching about ecology, teaching about some plants are actually holding different heterotrophs because they, in this particular soil, for whatever reason, they don't get their nitrogen. They have to get their nitrogen for their cellular components from usually flies and insects, which get trapped in like a sticky nectar. In the pitcher plant itself, there's actually a long tube. This is a long tube here that runs down and they get trapped in the bottom as a liquid. And there are even spiders that have adapted to being able to put their heads directly under the water and using another physics concept of cohesion. They're able to make themselves little oxygen masks. And they use their web and they'll go down in there and eat the flies or the bugs that these pitcher plants are trying to capture for themselves. But I think that these are some kind of more international stems over there. Right? I think that's also another kind of carnivorous. So I didn't do obviously a good job of the research. There are 5 species of carnivorous plants. The only one that's not native here in the Big Thicket is the genus flytrap. The other 4 are native, and they're probably all right here in front of me. I recognize the pitcher plant because I've taught about that, and I've never actually seen one. So I'm assuming he's with me, but I do. So but right here, we have a little open area in the woods of these different plants. Some of these are just regular underbrush. We're doing this side today because I wanted to see these for myself. And we're out here actually between bands. It's raining a little bit, but that Hurricane Hanna is making its way to south of us. And we had it come down pretty heavy. It really started to jump down. I think the worst of it's behind us. Alright, we stop for this now and get some exercise and get some here's and come back to us. Enjoy. Yeah, my goal this fall, if I could have my way, I would never be in the classroom. I would create educational content and offer expeditions to schools or remote schools where we would social distance, meet out in a place like this. We'd have like a rope, don't let any slack in the rope, make sure that the knots are 6 feet apart, and I'd walk kids through and we do science. And
it's a 1 mile trail, over 88.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is like Yellowstone. I'm just trying to remember what kind of soil is required for that, or why they're like here but not all over the place. Because I mean, can I dig one of these up and take it to a different?
Buy them, they have their food source.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why people can buy like these fly traps, but I don't know if people buying pitcher plants are shooting on them. This is an entire field.
Carnivorous.
This could be like a B horror movie. If these were like Seymour. What was that play that was made into a movie? Little Shop of Horrors. phone, and set it in the bracket. Put the photos against it. Oh, I'll do it. You probably want to see the time lapse, you know. You can do that and submit them somewhere online. Right, you can see. Oh, did you get a picture of that?
Upload.
Oh, look at this line of sight, dude. Way back. Starting to come down. Yo, I'm about to switch it to the front view. Yeah, I'm gonna do front. Only because I'm turning my head a lot, and that's not gonna help me. But I use the footage because if something does step out behind us, that's the only way to catch it. And yeah, sure.
That's what you wanted, bro.
All right, so we got another big old spider here. I don't know if it's aiming at it or not, but I can I can see another male and a female right there. These banana spiders are very omnipresent here. Let me put something dark behind it again. Try to get that picture. Close up. Object right there in the picture. Focus. Especially a little male. He's so tiny. I kind of thought so because I remember with black widows, you know, they eat them afterwards, and it's just a snack. Or it's the praying mantis, right? All right, you ready? Ready? The 1-2 checker. Little primordial ferns. It's pteridophytes, I believe. Now, I teach biology, but botany is not my specialty. So I've got an app for anything unusual that I want to take a picture of. And as long as I've got enough of a connection out here, I will be able to tell what kind of a tree it is. Anything that I'm putting on this film that I don't know, I will put in the description below so that you can understand that even teachers don't know everything. And learning is a lifelong process. It's how you think and see the world that I'm hoping I can help you and influence you with. In the sense of just how scientists look at the world. Because there's lots of ways to look at this path in this forest right now. Naturalist perspective, philosophical perspective, religious perspectives, maybe even economic, good perspectives from my viewers. That's his nickname, his gamer name. You may just end up in a lobby with him someday. But yeah, that's a very well maintained trail, and even this no longer manufactured trail. It's still mowed and treeless, rootless, nothing to trip over. So this is, to me, seemingly pretty ADA compliant. You can get back in here, I think, with a good set of wheels, you know, beach wheels, If you've got a wheelchair for my audience that like to get outdoors and know some good places, it's the spot. Oh, and the place that we're staying at is actually a vet's area that's ADA compliant and set up for with ramps and everything, even to like hunting blinds and fishing area and everything. So I guess I'll put that in the description too, for those of you that might be interested in getting out of the city during COVID or after COVID and going somewhere where it's easy to social distance. As you can see in front of me, I'm social distance from probably everybody. And behind me, this guy, he gets a little close to me occasionally, but we've basically family, so if one of us was to come down with it, the other one would want to be there anyways. So very neat forest though. It's just hard to believe that less than 100 yards back that way are all those carnivorous plants, and now we're in a completely different like ecosystem here now that we're not in that open field. And the Big Thicket, depending on what you read, the Big Thicket has lots of ecosystems, up to 12 that I've seen written about. For splitters and lumpers, I've seen as few as 6 ecosystems in this thicket, in this park. You can go from this, and I'm hoping that we'll have, I'm not hoping, my plan is for us to get footage, regardless of this hurricane, get some footage of the different ecosystems here. Especially one that I want to see after this is the sloughs, the places where you can see the elbows of the cypress trees. I'm just going to walk off trail for a minute just into this area over here. Because the one thing about the thicket where we're staying anyways, it's literally so thick. Where? Did I just walk through one? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm walking without looking for spiders. The camera's going to probably pick one up right before it eats my face. This big open space out here, it's just fascinating. Like, this is more open than where we're at. I could not look out like this and see that far through the woods. It is so thick. But you can see these some of these trees like have dead parts that just hang down, and then that creates like a barrier. And again, all you need is 6 to 8 feet, and these banana spiders make a web. So there's the natural physical barriers, and then there's the organic natural physical barriers that you got to watch out for on the daily. And I'm hoping that this audio is picking up on this GoPro, because I know that it doesn't have the sweet microphone that my Handycam does, but my Handycam, unfortunately, the Sony, is not waterproof. And right now it's not raining hard, but again, we're between bands in this hurricane, so I might have to redub this audio later, especially if Fat Kid starts telling any crazy stories about our college years or something. For all you younger viewers, I would, edit that out. But yep, I just got into a web, so now I'm looking to see if the spider's on me. But I don't. Yeah, check my neck and seriously check my neck and hat since I lid. I don't have a huge fear of spiders, and these ones, they can bite you, but they mostly, it says, what I've read about them is that they like to run away, but every single time I've come up to them, we've been able to get right up next to them taking pictures. I bet if we disturbed their web, they would take off, but still, I don't want to disturb their web with the web wrapping around my face. Regardless of my fear factor, having a spider in my face with webbing all around my face is not a comfortable thought or feeling. So, other than just trying to get out into nature and get a little exercise and check out some of the knowns, but yet rare things like those pitcher plants, the purpose of this little mini expedition is kind of a scouting expedition. I mean, I'm looking for on or off the trails or on or off these back roads down here in the thicket, and I've driven some. Dr. Marvin can tell you that I've taken the Prius where no Prius has gone before. And that's no joke. And here now, we've got something interesting, but as always, what we want to do is take a look at it. What kind of tree is this? Can we use the app to identify the type of wood, or maybe the bark will tell us the type of tree that it is? It would be the leaves, but this one looks like it's been old and rotted and dead. However, what interests me is what, Dr. Marvin, what do you think it is that made me stop and want to look at this a little bit in more detail? What do you notice? Yeah. So we've got a break here over a branch, again, rotted. That can naturally occur if it falls. It would, like, you'd break your back if you fell and landed on this. But we've also got a break back here near the base. But here's the kicker for me. If you look straight ahead, and again, I'm not sure exactly where my camera's hitting, but if you look straight ahead, there's another piece that's broken, and it's been placed right there. There's nothing else connected to it. And we've got an X formation. And again, if you take a close look, because to anybody else, looks like wood in the forest. This is a branch from a different kind of, I don't know if this is the same species as this. Again, we're going to use the app to try to identify it. But I can tell you right now, the base of this is not growing out of the ground. It was placed here. So somebody placed this, and if you look closely here, what do you notice about the break, Dr. Marvin? Is that rotted? Is that rotted internal? That's a fresh break. And do you notice, you can see because the fibers are bent over. So something actually has broken this off green and placed it here. This one, on the other hand, looking from end to end, looks like an older piece that could have come from anywhere. Again, I'm not a botanist, but somebody might be able to tell us. Now I can see, because most of the bark is missing, that probably something's been eating the bark off of it since it's fallen, or rubbed the bark off of it. Now, one of the things that I know about Bigfoot reports when it comes to these structures is that they tend to rub the bark off of the pieces that they move. So there's another, at least anecdotal piece, subjective, as to what brought this here. Now, the curious piece is it's right next to the trail. So it could have been somebody clearing off the trail. But as I look again at the bottom of this piece, if you're clearing off the trail, where did this piece come from? And so I look up, and I look at this tree, and I see, does this tree have a branch missing? So I'm going to look at these trees now and see if I can see anywhere where a branch of that size would have grown out of this tree. This tree here, no way. See, this is a different kind of tree, right? What kind of tree is this one right here?
This one, something brought that broke up.
That's what I'm trying. This is what I want to do. When I first asked you, Doug, why do you think I stopped? Because I immediately noticed that that's not in the ground. And I immediately noticed that that is not a rot break. This here is not a rot break. That is a clean break. Again, you've got fiber all the way to the center there. Like, can you get a picture of that? You've got fiber all the way to the center of that. And, or just make a little film. And then this piece may or may not have been rotted. I see a centipede in there. It looks a little bit, maybe could have, it might have been rotted, but the bottom line is this tree, this piece of wood, isn't a part of this tree here. And this is a pine tree. This is not a pine tree. And as you look around basically look around us for the widest girth tree, and it would be this one. And again, what kind of tree is this, Doug? Dr. Marvin? And according to the app, what kind of tree is that big branch there? The bottom line is it's not a pine tree. And again, in looking around, the size of that branch, that would have had to come from a big tree, unless that itself is a tree. Which, again, now what we want to do, and this is the next piece we're going to do, is we're going to do like 10 or 15 feet circles from this spot. And we're going to try to find where this tree could have been removed from the ground. Because if it's not a branch, then it was in the ground. And what we're trying to do here, folks, is we're trying to rule out, a passerby or the game people, the fishing game, having come to clear the path and just thrown a tree out of the way. this didn't fall off. Bigfoot is known to bring trees from far distances and leave them, especially leaving them in different shapes. Now this one here, oddly, doesn't seem like it was left in a shape. It seems like it was thrown here and it broke over there. Now I don't know why it broke here, other than this solid tree is at the break point. So if it fell, but again, I'm not sure where it could have fallen from. So we're gonna look now to see if we can figure out if this tree was growing nearby, because that's the only way it would have fallen here. Otherwise, something slammed it down here, or bent it over this part and then bent it over that part, because that is, and again, this is what I'm talking about, Doug, when I'm talking about tree structures, Dr. Marvin and my audience. It's, okay, looks natural at first, but then when you look at it and you really think about it, how could this have naturally occurred? Some things don't add up. And so it's, my hope is this was just, we're going to find a root ball near here where this came up and maybe it fell and somebody threw it out of the way. And over time, somebody hit it here. Like there's a series of non-Occam's razor events, things that aren't as obvious at first glance. So we're going to stop filming. We're going to walk around now and see if we find a base for this, a root structure. See here though, Doug, here's evidence that it is a natural break. Because look, here's a tree, its root system's still in the ground. I'm gonna take a picture of that, just to add. And then there's the rest of it. But it was a tree, but something knocked it over. It could have been, again, cleaning the trails. But that's my point. Oh, Doug, do me a favor. Reach in and grab the, it's in the main pack, the tape, the measuring tape. It's just in the bottom of the main pack. You should be able, if you get all the way to the bottom, you can probably fit it. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put this in my pocket. I wish that we had a fabric one, but I'm just gonna do what needs to be done, which is to measure the girth. Can you take a picture of this or record it? Because I'll do it quickly. I just want to get the girth is about 3 inches, and which means the diameter or the radius is about 1.5 inches. But then it's about 9.5 to about 9.5 inches around. Oh, you didn't get that one?
Your audio.
Oh, I bet it's underwater though. Okay, so it's a pretty big tree. Well, I want to find another tree like that, Doug, and I want to see you try to like snap it over at the base like that, because that would be at least objectively something to look at. Yep. Oh yeah, there's one right there. That looks like it could be. Unless that, no, because there's the rest of that one, Doug, right in front of you. But here's my thing. That having been said, we now see evidence of skinny, like couple inch, 2 to 3 inch trees that have broken off at their bases. And that's not a typical Bigfoot thing. That could be just a natural thing here. Another one that's broken down at the base. So yeah, so this could just be a naturally occurring feature. So, however, nonetheless, this is the closest, but I don't think that matches. And I'm also seeing fire here, so there must have been ground fire of some sort.
It's the same sort of wood.
Yeah, it is. It's the same kind of wood. It may be. Now that we've looked at it a little bit. Yeah. Yep. And you notice again, there's some bark missing at this end, at the lower end. And that's what I saw with that other piece over there. Unless that was if that was the upper end, I want to go back and take one more look at that. But here, see that back there, I see a root ball. I see the whole tree fell over towards us, and the root ball is up above the ground, sticking up. But these other ones are breaking off at a low height, like this guy here. I'm looking at this, and I'm walking back, and here I see I think, a root system, or a place where, again, looks like there's burn damage. So perhaps these breaks happen because a fire came through and the younger ones didn't have enough bark to protect them. And so that lower place where they were on fire is where they fell over. That would be the best explanation, right? It's these smaller ones that the bark isn't as thick. And at the base of that one, I definitely see fire damage. And I see fire damage on a lot of these. So I'm going to go back and take one more look at that piece out there. But I have a feeling that that's now my conclusion. And this is why you don't stop after your first set of thinking. You want to go back and think about it some more. And again, over there, I see a break that could be construed a typical Bigfoot break. Oh, look. It lived after it burnt and broke, or just after it broke. But here, what do you got? It's a spider web. Wow. That's a shiny thing that holds water. That looks like a wolf spider, perhaps. And we're going to come out by jiggling this. This is too much jiggle for him, though. If there's a wolf, he'll come out in the entrance there and stare us down. I think I see the entrance right at the tip of my walking stick. Yeah, that looks like a typical wolf spider nest to me. I don't know, though. But they are down here from what I saw. But here again, I mean, I see fire damage near the base. So this tree started to fall over. But the interesting piece again for me is this break. This break is at a height that would be consistent if it was still standing. And I'm going to measure this now. If it was still standing, was something that, again, a Bigfoot might do to create a wood structure. And again, whatever those structures mean is, some people think they know, some people have guesses. For me, it would be a guess. I don't know what they're for. But I'm going to ask Doug to hold that at the base so I can see how high up it would have been if it was freestanding. Just to get it down to the bottom there. I want to add this to my data. It is 11 feet, 7 inches. That's in the range. That's in the range of a big one. Now, again, that's assuming it was... Yeah, it looks like it was on fire. But again, like that other one, it grew after it.
Tell how that branch shoots straight up out. So this tree was bent like this for a long time.
Yeah, because
so something could have. How high is that off the ground?
Well, that's the thing I was going to measure. So we got the measurement if this break here occurred when it was full standing. But if it occurred after, then the height is not unusual. It's about a 6.5 foot height. But then again, like something would have had to grab that and bend it down. So let's get a height. Height measurement here is 7 feet 2.
Over 7 feet.
Over 7 feet. Well,
so if you're a 9 foot person, you just
put your hand out. Which again, if it was full size when it happened before it bent over down there.
Right. It's grown this way for a long time.
It definitely has.
To do that, look at it.
Yeah, it's grown. It's grown.
That takes.
It's still alive. It's still alive. But my thing is, this part is not. There's no leaves. This is dead, and it's dead into the ground a little bit. So I'm looking at this amount of decay, and I'm thinking about the amount of growth needed there, and I'm thinking that this is probably something that happened. Yeah, happened again with that last fire. But again, how did this break happen? Look right up, just before the break. Look, we got a branch growing up vertical again, and so this break, the overall bend has been there a while. What we don't know is how long this break has been there, but it's definitely a break with nothing under it that would have broken it. Like, to me, again, what's the mystery here, Doug? We know that this plant isn't dead. We know this plant's still alive. So what broke this part? What did this fall on the first time it fell 45 degrees or whatever? What got under this that it would have hit that would have caused that break? Other than, again, unless it was just weakened there when it bent over, and it could have been snow. Well, I don't think we get much snow down here, but maybe wind. I don't know. But wind coming from where? Because this tree is right up against it. Yep. But there's some fascinating stuff just right here. Yep. I was going to walk back over there, but I want to go back to where we came so we don't go through new spiders. Okay. I'll go this way. Going this way. Yeah, there's definitely fire back here. And that explains a lot more about why these smaller ones are breaking. And it would explain that it wouldn't take too much for somebody to pick it up and move it a little ways or carry it a little ways. It's just that it's obvious to me that this didn't happen right here. This didn't occur right here. This branch came from somewhere, and I'm just going to check that other end one more time, make sure that that's not the bottom. I was thinking this side was the bottom, but now I'm more convinced that this is the, I think I figured it all out. Here's the base. This is the lower end. That was the upper end. Makes absolute sense that it could have broken, kicked back a little bit, landed over this, snapped there, landed over that, snapped there, pinned between these branches. That is a natural break. Yeah.
I mean, how ironic.
Well, and here's the thing about that. Was that a branch off of this? I don't see any branch marks on this piece. So where the heck did that one come from? That X is still the piece that doesn't add up. The other piece I can now explain, just like I did in New York last year.
No, that come off the end of this.
In which case somebody just stuck that over there. That makes sense. That looks like, except for the bottom of that doesn't have the splintering that one does on top. But it looks like the same kind of wood. Could have been. Definitely could have been. But that looks like it could have been done by a person. I'll say that undetermined, not a small animal, but probably either one of us or something like this. The only thing there now that is undetermined is the X. Who made the X? What made the X? That other tree, though, I'm now certain was down to natural causes, which is okay. It's pretty cool, and you got to hear me walk through it. What's this? An egg? A berry? I don't see anything else like that. I saw something in this stump over here. Those are fungi. Got some. I'm going to take a picture of both of them. We've got some kind of shroom here growing. Try to get it at an angle. And this thing is kind of pinkish. Berry.
Fungi.
Yep. Oh, the round one is, for sure? Shrooms. Need some shrooms. Nope, I'd rather not die today. Today's a good day. I'll live. But yeah, it's really, I'll say this, it is humid. Between the rain and just sweating, it is warm down here. So I wouldn't imagine that anything that died would take too long to decompose here. And unless there was sedimentation, a river flowing over it, you're not going to see any sign of anything living in these woods. Unless you shoot it yourself. Is my lens clean?
Yeah.
Just make sure there's no water spots. I can wipe those off.
That takes
Let's do that. I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So is there an actual creek in here? It's called Turkey Creek.
Jack Johnson. Jack
Um,
Oh, shit. Movie was Tombstone.
what was the line again? Yeah, see, there's a lot of things. Well, again, along the path, whatever they come through vehicle-wise with can catch any of these things on the sides and break branches off or knock little trees over, which they would have to do to keep this path open. So none of those strike me as odd. I see a little bridge up here. Might be a little creek. Turkey Pub. Let's see sand. And you can see water flows through there, but it must just be like real lanes of water here. I think most of it's like sitting water. It's certainly not flowing right now, but you can tell that it does. It must just flow when it's really wet. But they've said it's been dry down here, regardless of current circumstance, current situation. It's like I try to teach when it comes to meteorology and climatology. Meteorology is second to second. Climatology is hundreds of thousands, millions of years. You're looking at core samples of ice, things that change slowly, not micro changes. And you're looking planetary, you're not looking in a local national forest. Now you'd use data from this forest, but you'd average it with the data from Nome, Alaska, and Antarctica, and the Saharan Desert. And there's a lot of people that are confused about how we can have record snowstorms and global warming. It's because weather gets more severe during those changes from what we understand. Yeah, definitely cycles. Again, we see them geologically, we see them climatologically in the ice cores and in the seafloor as it spreads. This reversal of the big one for me is the reversal of the poles. How North and South Pole can flip and what happens to life on the planet during that. Yep. 30-year storm. 100-year floods. And then the same thing with eruptions, geologic time. Yeah, it's not heavy though. Smaller animal. You sure I didn't just pass gas? Oh, that's true. Nope. Shower about once a month now. Hey, I shampooed and showered and I didn't get any, so trust me.
It's fresh. Nice. It's fresh. Fresh. Clean. It's a 17-mile trail.
Oh, it is? Nice.
We could hump it in like 8 miles. Just set up a camp, clear brush off the trail.
Mm-hmm. That would be the way to do it. You don't really need to go too far from where we're at. In fact, the one site that we have up by Mount St. Helens, they call it Camp 7 because it's the number on a logging tree. And so we can drive all the way up to it if we wanted to, but we always drive 7 miles. Well, we park about 7 miles away, set up camp there. It's 2,500 feet. And then we hike up to about 3,700 feet to get to the actual spot so that we're going to be there, but we only go there in tents. So there's no naturally occurring X.
Well, and a bird.
Yep. There's some good ecology down in here. Between the ecosystems and just the circle of life. We've got a good food web, food pyramids. You got your carnivores at the top. Cats and canids, well, felines and canids. I've heard and been told. So again, I didn't get to see sign. Although we found a track yesterday, I didn't get a chance to look up. Or 2 days ago, with some cat or dog. It was a kind of a big one. I'm curious if we didn't come across a dog track, a wolf track, coyote track, or a puma cat or a bobcat. Oh yeah. To tell us. Yeah, a botanist isn't going to do that, but animal person. A little grassy, gets back in there. Bear like to bed down in that, from my experience. And yet again, like that's the other thing, like there's bear down here. I'm seeing no scat on these trails. Usually they poop all over the trails, coyotes. I've yet to come across any scat. But I'll put it out there like that. I haven't come across scat. How about you take a shit for me? Poop. Defecate for me, please. It's just 2 o'clock. It's not too distraction. You keep an eye at 3 o'clock. I'll keep an eye at 12 o'clock. Because if it's one of them, it'll be trying to get behind us or to the side of us. And again, it'll be out there just at the edge of where you can see it, and where I can see it. It'll be using as many branches and trees to break up its body lines as possible, just like a deer hunter would do. Oh, first mosquito. Surprisingly. Oh, that's our first cypress slough. That's a different ecosystem. That's the cypress trees that are in the water with the little, they should have the elbows. We'll walk a little bit off the path and then come right back to this bridge. Copy? Back up video. We've now entered on this Turkey Creek section. We've entered into a different ecosystem here where we've got the, I believe they're cypress trees, the trees that have the roots that have like little elbows and knees that stick up to breathe. I think it's to breathe. Again, I'm no botanist. I will verify that in the description below. But yeah, it's places where these trees grow and the water is just standing water year round. You can see that like tea-colored water in there. And if we're gonna see a gator or a water moccasin, I would expect, or a copperhead, that we're in the spot. But I'm not going to be upset with the fact we haven't come across one yet. But I'm not sure why we haven't seen more. But I'll try to get the camera back on. I've got the GoPro going. I just don't know what the audio is sounding like on it. So we'll see. But yeah, this is I believe it's called a cypress slough. SLOUGH. And I'll verify that in the comments or in the description below. Hey Doug, I'm gonna take a quick. I'm gonna rain real quick on the parade, but I'm looking at the ground over here, and I would have never known what I'm seeing had it not been for you guys living in Crosby. No, but that's not a bad guess. I'm seeing little dirt mounds. Crawfish. I never knew that they lived on land like that until your place. Now it's close. Your place is close to that channel, so they weren't far from a water source. But yeah, there's a bunch of them back here. In fact, I'm gonna make a quick video on the way over to you, just of these. No, should I? Take them out of their home? I mean, if we were gonna eat them, yeah, but I'm not gonna eat it. Not that hungry. All right. So I'm making another quick video right now, just outside of the slough. Okay, so the slough is here, and I wanted to point out before we leave this area, these you got holes in the ground like this one here, but then you got these little dirt mounds. And for the longest time, I didn't know what they were. I mean, this one here is like several inches high. And I would come to find out. Now, I don't know if the holes are directly associated with it, but I think that they are. I think they're the same thing that make the one make the other. I could be wrong about that. But I know that those are made by bugs, they call them down here, crawfish, crawdads. And they're usually not in water, but near. So again, there's standing water not far, and they're over here in the soft earth, living it up. Where I come from in Pennsylvania, I don't remember ever seeing that. They usually were under rocks when I would find them in the creeks down by the swamp. But who knows? Maybe it's just different species. But that's what I believe those are. No. I'm looking. That's fine. What's happening? What kind of birds? Here it is. squirrel. That's a squirrel sound to me. Sound like a little machine gun. Wow, something's been rooting around in there. Probably pig. This looks like pig activity. Yeah, hogs. My best guess. See if I can find a good footprint. I just came across a disturbed area here just off the trail, but it's kind of all kicked up and dug up all around some of these crayfish things. My guess is hog activity, but again, that's something outside of my purview, so I'm going to look for hog tracks. But it's all kicked up like a chicken would do, but it looks like it's kicked up deeper than what birds would do. But I'm not seeing what I would call any kind of good tracks. This looks like it was, I mean, you can see the raindrops in it, so it could have happened this morning, but I'm not seeing anything resembling a footprint, so leave that one as a mystery. Yeah, that tree's green. Let's look at the brakes. And it's across our path, which sometimes can be very interesting, especially if we didn't see it coming in, we saw it coming out. Let's take a look. The telltale sign of a non-weathered brake, Doug, is that it's a green, that's a rot nodule, but it's this. It's green on the inside, but it's usually twisted as well. That tells you, okay, that was a squash. But I'm looking at the top of this, see this piece here? That looks rotted. Though that was still alive, I think it was a similar situation, so this could have, and it looks like it's got a big infection on it right there. That's a fungus. Can't remember what those are called, but it's a disease. It's a disease of the tree, a symbiote. You sure it's not looking? Oh yeah, look at that. This is stigmatropism. Stigmatropism, these parts of the plant grow and they actually feel for other parts of the plant. So this is one of the pieces of evidence that plants have feelings because they can technically tactilely feel. It's called stigmatropism. Greenbriers, stigmatropists. They like to wrap around things. They reach out with those little tendrils. That's why they look all coiled and spirally. But then when they find a little branch, they'll twirl around that branch, and that's where they decide to grow. They grow with and on other things. I just heard something go, yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a good one. Some kind of animal. I'm thinking it's pigs because look at it's all rutted up, like rooted, like somebody took their nose and smushed it and moved it around all through here. All through here. Yeah, let's get a couple pictures of this, a couple different angles. You get all over there. I'll look for snakes over here. He said, always watch when you step over a log. That's what he told me. That sounds like a hawk screaming. Or falcon. Just going out 12 o'clock. You looking at the bark ripped off the trees? What do you say? High up it is? Let's go see how far down it stretches. I'll leave. Swamp what? Oh yeah, well I'm looking for snakes because I think there's gator. Look at this. Old bear would love that little spot. I'm going to get close and see if there's any tracks in there. That looks like a perfect spot. I'm going to walk up on it. Oops, I'm trying to... I stopped to film this one because it reminds me of my brother-in-law, Eddie. Oh, a frog just jumped in there. I'm being careful as I get closer because it reminds me of the time down in my brother-in-law's place, my sister's house, when there was a bear in the base of this I think it was an oak tree. But here, obviously, we've got another giant tree, but at the very base of it, look at that opening. The kind of big hollow. And it's all kind of muddied down in there. I don't see anything in there. Like I said, I saw a frog jump in there. But I'm not saying that would give you a lot of shelter at night, but that might be a place to bring back a kill. No bones, though. So, probably not being used for that. But very cool natural design. I must say. Alright. Oh. That got me right in the air. Right under the eye. Did I break this, dude? It was just, I pushed in, it caught, and then I did that. How do I? You can push it together to go inside, right? That's what I said. Okay, there it is. I was locked, but I could twist it to lock it or something. The mud pulled it. That's odd, because you'd think that that's a normal function of walking with walking stages. I'm just looking. Making sure that we don't get surprised. Right, I'm just going to keep making my way closer and looking for snakes, and you can follow behind me. Ooh. It's an interesting depression here. Yeah, I am, but I'm looking here. See how wide it is at the toes? I'm going to take a picture. I mean, that's probably just, could be anything, but it's interesting. If I find another one 6 or 8 feet in line with that, then I'm going to film it, but I'm just going to take a picture of that for now, because that is interesting. Put it next to it. So you can see that it's probably about 10, 11 inches. Don't need to go down and measure because I don't see any definition of toes. Again, probably pareidolia. Oh man, there's another one. That's another left foot if it is. Ooh. I'm just gonna come on here. Yeah, I think it's turkey. even baby snakes. I say that. I'm gonna end up letting my guard down. Yeah. I just wonder where the baby thing is. Can't be under. That wasn't a natural sound. I'm gonna do a leap so bad that I'm not going to. You sound like a helicopter. There's something back there that it's gotta be a machine. It's like we'll just go till we get to like another little like open area or different area and turn around. But there's something back there. Notice that those turkey sounds stopped. That's why I went ahead and did a hen call. No response. But that was one loud knock or slap or whatever, or it was a piece of wood that dropped hard. Which tells me that if you went that way another 2 clicks, that was the direction I was heading, back into that snow.
I don't know if you could, because the water's back there.
I'm just saying that's where something is that was telling us to turn around and go. I'm surprised it isn't following us, or that it hasn't thrown anything at us. But we're on the trail, so I mean, it's probably used to people being on this trail. Well, going off of it like that, send it from where again. Some of the researchers are to be believed. These things have day watchers. Sometimes they'll forage in the daytime, certain seasons of the year, but most of the time they do their stuff at night. Again, I'm thinking that it's a pig. I see prints. And it's always in the leaves in the mud. in the dark, on the ground, pitch black, in the middle of the freaking forest. Huh? No. February this year, a few months ago, with the BFRO guys, Bigfoot Research Organization guys. They took me to Mount St. Helens. We were up there. And you gotta watch my channel. You don't even know what I'm up to. I've been out doing Bigfoot and stuff, man. That was 6 months ago. Horse litter. Occasional pop up. Take some pictures of this fungus. Where? Oh yeah. Why am I taking a picture of this one? It stands out. Broken off. The bottom of it is on top. So again, unless it fell and broke and landed there, and the other one happens to be growing up, I don't know. Yeah, it is. That last one makes sense, but this one, that's the top. So again, it could be the top of the bigger trees again. And just again, just a random X. Squirrels or birds because I'm not seeing any hoof prints in these dig up areas. But I really want to see where pigs root because there should be footprints. And I'm looking for a clock. Probably stump. Switching from that slow left to right motion. Stop thinking up around. But I'll do about 30 yards. What's 30 yards? 3 clicks? What's 3 clicks? 1,000 meters. Okay, I'm talking meters. Yeah, the mosquitoes are coming. I just don't see any hoofs, so it's making me think it could be squirrel or a bunch or like a little cluster of birds that just they're more like eating bark, aren't they? Rather than rooting around. God, those things are so fucking huge. Those banana spiders. It was. That one looked like a baby. Only an Arab would bring a dog to you. That's a cool picture. I'm gonna take this picture too. The color right now looks pretty cool. Well, that looks like it could be a gator, like rubbing its belly. It's like a trail, but yeah, unless you got buns. I wonder if they size this up and know, those two old fat fucks, let's fuck with them. They ain't gonna run after us. Teenagers, you know. Like our teenagers stay up late playing video games. Their teenagers stay up during the day, which is the equivalent of, and just fuck with people while their parents are sleeping. You're supposed to be watching the little ones, but they're out fucking around, doing drugs. According to the hippie chicks, they do love the marijuana. Yeah. Maybe. You might be. You might be right. There might be a bunch of potheads, hippies, hippie squatch, hippie apes, skunk hippies. Maybe that's where they got their nickname. They're like me. A few hours, supposed to. I'm gonna take it back, take the card out, put a new card in, and recharge the battery for tonight. It's night ops. I just want to get as much footage in here because this is really cool looking. This is something again that I'm not going to be able to get a lot of because I'm not going to be in Cypress swamps anytime again soon. Mm-hmm. I heard you. I said, I'm about to hit you nuts if you're wearing Crocs. Sliding around out here. Crocs is. Cheer something. You're not hearing this? Dude. It's the same call we heard before. Again, like a turkey, but not a turkey. And there were two of them talking when I was going through that slot. And then they stopped. I turned around and then they heard the big branch break. Now I'm hearing it again as we're leaving the same area. I took a picture of the GPS in that spot. There's something, this particular area, I'm coming back there. I just broke my cardinal rule and pointed. But I made circles. And with this. Try not to do it again because it's like anybody else. You know, if people point at you, they don't either. Plus, then then they know that you know something. Now you're more of a threat than a play with object. An object to be toyed with. Well, see, now there's a different spider. That's one of the orb weavers there. See its abdomen? It's a different one there. Yeah, it's got orangish. The abdomen's egg-shaped. That's the orb weaver right there. I'll hold my stick up for scale and help me focus. I think that's an orb weaver. Yep. I call it. We're turning into freaking entomologists out here. If not squatchologists, entomologists. I really would like to hear one more tree trunk falling so that I could think it was just the rain and the humidity. That, the location, and the direction, and the timing, those variables have me wanting to hear something else. Do some more of that staghorn fungus or whatever it is. Shelf fungus. That's a good plan. Okay. Now, 3 inches long. The abdomen's like 1.5 inches. 2 inches though. That abdomen's big on those bananas. That orb, the reason I knew it was an orb right away is because the shape of its abdomen was different. But yet the web was similar and the leg coloring was similar. There's a lot of pine. It doesn't seem to do real well because most of the dead trees that I see are pine. I guess it's the fire, maybe. Maybe the fire thin them out. Nope. Look at that cool butterfly. It's like a zebra color. Look at the tail on it. That's cool. Neat colors. Neat coloration. Bird. Yeah, cicada. Pulling around. I don't know if that's a den, but see, I don't see any tracks coming in and out of it. See how deep it goes, yeah. Because that's where I would expect pigs to be living, is in a hole. Yeah, he said they're pretty rare. But, hell, we might be right where they live, next to the pitcher plants. So something's made that, man. Oh, it's a Florida sinkhole. Oh, I just heard a chicken. Just heard a rooster go off. Yeah, about a mile and a half, 2 miles that way. I could hear it though. Maybe it's in the woods. I think that they wouldn't even be able to grow if they didn't have a better root structure. Speaking of nutrients, I haven't seen any nutria. Those rodents that are supposed to be everywhere down here. Rats, horse rats. Yeah, it's weird. There's just not the obvious sign that I'm used to seeing. Even on a trail like this, you'd see sign. It wouldn't necessarily be right on the trail. Usually it is though. They'll usually have a branch broken down to say this is where people go. Don't go there, but it might be just so obvious to the ones that live here. But up in the mountains, I could definitely tell there's a huge difference between these ecosystems. That's a game pathway there. And the thing is, they don't follow the game pathways, they parallel. Again, if you find a game trail, two guys need to then split off the game trail perpendicular. And about 30 feet to 30 yards back, 10 to 30 yards back, you'll find a larger trail where something bigger has been moving through because the branches up high will be broken. And then you'll see the choke point because that's when they'll lay logs and things. And they'll drive the deer, the elk, down through there. And two of them will be waiting to jump it at the end. I don't know if they do the same thing with pigs, but I would imagine that if they use that kind of a hunting military. Oh, that's just a regular trailer. It's a 4-wheeler. It's like been cut down. Somebody cut that out like this. Probably thinking about making a separate trail back in through there. It's really weird though. So many of them are broken down by the bottoms. I think that it's all related to fire, man. Yeah, just get them all the young. Yeah, definitely. That one that we documented, that was years of growth after an almost death, a near plant-like death experience. But yet they were able to continue to be a horizontal base for vertical growth. Because that's pretty much all that part was a base, but it had a vascular system running through it. Oh, Bigfoot, let us know that you're here. Skunk ape guys. Chimpanzee looking people. Where are you? Run ahead and put a log on the path or something so that you can scratch your heads and wonder what the heck did this? Was that there when we came in? Huh? You see one? I haven't seen one yet. Okay. Nope. As I'm saying, and on this wet track, this wet, not cement part, I'm not even seeing it. I'm just saying that this very similar track like this in Northern California, you'd be running across every 10 feet bear shit. So there must not be a lot of bears down here. Bear down here. Maybe it's a different section of these woods. No, and I know at least in Pennsylvania and Kentucky where they've been able to track them, in Oklahoma, the Bigfoot daily range is anywhere from 40 to 200 miles round trip, where they'll go to get food and come back. So they know how to move. But again, if you're down in here, there should be plenty of food. The sun will come out tomorrow. The bottom back tomorrow. There'll be sun. And you can see it. This is the really good soil to see tracks into. They're not being pushed too deep, but you're going to see the impression, just like that water droplet. And it goes very deep. Now, it is going deep. You know something jumped down there, or something stepped there, like these two individuals, with some serious weight, some poundage. It wasn't just for the vijay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I want to go to the Ghost Light Road.
Yeah, that's like
Before that's a drive. No, it's a drive. I just did it the other night. Possibly 30 minutes, yeah. Plus the drive up and back. So again, drinking or high-wise, it's, Jesus Christ. Just above us, too. Go that way. Yeah, he's got a different body position. He was in the, I'm about to get you.
eat your face.
crow making noise. That means there's something in the woods over there, predator, cat, dog, something, person. He's right up over him, making lots of noise. This is really good. It's actually that's perfect now because this is what I see these vines on. It's perfect. Great vines. I don't know what these are. They love those vines. They go under their roost and whatever grows on them. Well, they can fly, but they're like chickens. They'll go up just to roost. You know? I hope so. I hope so. Warriors. Goes all the way. Yep. Giardias. This way? Do I see? Pretty far damage. Yep. You can see all the trunks of these bigger trees are charred halfway up. Well, 12, 15 feet up. I'd say halfway up. Which means that, yeah, the underbrush burnt at some point. By the force of the moisture and the sunshine down here. That could have been last year, could have been earlier this year. Looks like the growth below though is pretty, like maybe more than a year. Yeah. Sniff it. See if you still smelling the char. Not sure. I wonder if they're naturally immune to like poison ivy and stuff, like a buildup, or if their hair just naturally protects them, or if they've just got such calluses on the lower parts of the body, their shins and feet, that nothing really affects that skin because it's mostly dead skin anyways. I wonder. It's just so weird that there's not like one pitcher plant out here anywhere. There's just, as I'm saying, that one field is like, what happens if they can't reproduce? Like, and how do they reproduce? Do they have spores? Do they have flowers? Do they flower at all? I don't know. That's what I don't know. Like, it's certainly not just a matter of moisture and sunlight. It would have to be the substrate. I would think. Is what? 300? 30. Yeah, I think you're probably 40 now. I've dove off the 10 meter. It's not higher than 2 10 meters. The 10 meter is where the second row of branches would be. That's how high up you dive in 10 meters. 150 feet. They're big. We can look it up. I'm getting busy. Can you look it up like that? It's probably 100 feet. We'll look it up though. I'm not sure. Dear fuck. Oh. Oh, maybe. Might have done it. That was a build. They had a builder in there too. I'll be rubbing that off here in a few months. That was a nice butt. Why? It's so fun. There's the first little bird I've seen. Hear them, those little birds. I haven't seen any back in there. Some kind of plant. And there's probably private property. I know that's what a lot of people ask about the state parks when they close sections off. Why? Why are you closing that section off? Wild bear in the area. Okay, well, let us go in and help you. It's almost always a bear is an excuse to close an area of the park down. Or they'll say, here's the other one that they'll use, if it's appropriate time of the year. That's where the elk are bedding down to calve. It's the calving season. This whole side of this mountain is off limits. So it's trying to sweep the leg. Inadvertently sweeping the leg. Sorry about that. What is that butterfly? Camera, I don't know if it's going to come close. It gave us a flyby. A really pretty zebra colored one. I wish she'd sit down so we can take a picture of her. Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera from the Insectivora kingdom Animalia. Phylum Invertebrata. Oh, is that what you're doing? You're leveling up on me, huh? You motherfucker saying what? You're gonna have more scientific clout on that app than me. Yes. Some more flowering plants.